Hello, welcome students for Vijetha IAS Academy ethics classes. We are dealing with case studies. In this session, we are going to understand case study number 12. We are dealing with these issues. If you are a civil servant, you will come across various social issues and various other issues also. We are dealing with solving a social issue, acting against corruption, asking favors from you, disaster management. These are the issues which so far we have seen, and we are seeing some examples in solving a social issue. This case study is about misusing Right to Information RTI Act. Let us see the case. What it is saying that you are a public information officer in a government department. Public information officer is to give the information to the public based on the demand of the public. People want to know what kind of policies are there, what kind of schemes that are eligible for them, what kind of how much amount already dispersed in a particular scheme. People can ask anything related to cash certificate, related to disbursement of the scholarship. It could be anything, because government is for the welfare of the people, and the people can ask any kind of information and they can get the information. It is their right. That's what Right to Information Act. Under Right to Information Act, this provision was there that every department has to create a public information officer. Whenever a request will come, they have to give the information. You are responsible for that. You are a public information officer. You are aware that Right to Information Act 2005 envisages transparency and accountability in administration. The Act has functioned as a check on the supposedly arbitrary administrative behavior and actions. However, as a PIO, you have observed that there are citizens who filed RTA applications not for themselves but on behalf of some stakeholders who purportedly want to have access to information to further their own interests. It is the reason could be anything. Some people are there, they do not want information for themselves, but on behalf of somebody else, they are filing this petition, they are filing this request, Right to Information Act, they are filing the applications. At the same time, there are these RTI activists who routinely file RTI applications and attempt to extort money from the decision makers. In India, many people are illiterate. People do not know how to file RTI application also. People do not even know that there is a provision called Right to Information Act. Suppose if there is something related to marks, if there is something related to jobs, and even educated people also do not know how to use this provision RTI Act, Right to Information Act. That's why there are some people called RTI activists. They used to help these people how to get the information from the public, and based on that information, they can go to different grievance redressal mechanisms like courts or any other grievance redressal cell. Here in this case, some people are genuine. They'll file on behalf of somebody and to get the justice. But some people are misusing this and they are trying to extort money from the decision makers. If decision makers have done something wrong, they will get information, and they are not, that is not for giving justice, but to extort money from the decision makers. This type of RTI activism has affected the functioning of the administration adversely, and also possibly jeopardizes the genuineness of the applications, which are essentially aimed at getting justice. The act is supposed to get the justice, but now because of this kind of misuse, the people who are genuinely filing RTI applications will not get the right response. The people who are misusing this, they are creating pressure on the decision makers also, and they are misusing this. They are not using for getting justice, rather to extort money for illegal activity. That's a kind of illegal. What measures would you suggest to separate genuine and non-genuine applications? Give merit and demerits of your suggestions. You are public information officer. So let us try to understand what are various issues involved here. In case study, try to utilize our strength in our theory also. In theory, probity in governance and civil service values. RTA information, Right to Information Act is related to promoting transparency in governance and also ensure accountability in governance. Transparency and accountability. And what is the purpose of this one? Transparency and accountability? To get justice, to reduce corruption, to get service delivery on time, quality service delivery, quality service delivery. Transparency and accountability are very important civil service values. Government should ensure transparency and accountability to ensure justice for the common people by eliminating corruption, by providing service delivery on time, by providing quality service to the people. Now, when it comes to India, India is having so many issues. India is having so many issues. We have caste issue, gender issue, Naxal issue, terrorism issue, then slums issue, related to social issues, related to development issue, related to political issues. Political issues means somebody get arrested and without knowing anything, any information about what was the reason for this arrest. Nobody knows. This is where, when you are dealing with this, transparency is required. And if they have done something wrong, accountability must be ensured. And suppose caste certificates are given, and those genuine people who are in need of these certificates, sometimes they will be missed, and those people who do not deserve these caste certificates, they will get it. And the person who is giving the certificates must be held accountable. And for that, people must know how this power is being misused. So, government, civil servants, they are playing different roles from top to bottom. When they are playing their role, their duty, they will come across various duties. When they are doing their duties, they must do their duties for the public welfare. Public welfare. But what is the guarantee that whatever decision they have taken purely in the interest of public, not for private interest? Suppose a project is done, a highway is becoming, and a highway road is getting constructed, but this road, highway or a railway line or airport, on what basis these tenders are given? On what basis these contracts are given? Is there any corruption involved in this developmental project? Is there any corruption involved in issuing the caste certificates? Is there any corruption involved in getting arrested for the political reasons, for eliminating the opposition people? Various reasons, social issues are there, developmental issues are there, political issues are there. In order to overcome these issues, Right to Information Act was passed, so that people have the right to get information. If there is any arbitrary arrest, in order to arbitrary means people are not following rule of law. The law says you have to arrest only when a crime has taken place, proper procedure must be given. proper procedure must be there, due procedure of law must be followed. If you do not follow that, if you are not following rule of law, that becomes arbitrary. Then it leads to despotism. It leads to despotism. When it leads to despotism, then people will face issues. Despotism. Then democracy will not survive. And dictatorship will emerge. Corruption will increase. Rich people become very rich, poor people become very poor, injustice will take place. Injustice. So here we are trying to understand what is the importance of Right to Information Act. Now if somebody is misutilizing this, if somebody is misusing this provision, means they are going against the rule of law, they are going against democratic principle, they are favoring the corruption, dictatorship, and they are not promoting democracy, and they are promoting injustice. That's why it is very this is very important position, where if you are holding public information officer, the people who are supposed to get justice, they must get justice through your information. If somebody is misusing, means you have to take action also on those people. Now let us see what kind of steps we can take. You are a public information officer. Some people are misusing this and for extorting money from the decision makers. They will file an application here, and suppose if there is an highway project, if there is any kind of railway project or airport project, and in this, how these contracts are getting allocated. One RTI activist will file a petition, they will get the information, and if there is any kind of corruption, they should give the justice to the public, and public should overall get benefit by either cancelling this contract to the corrupt person or by ensuring improving the quality in the project. Now the person who is getting information, he or she is not going to use that information for reducing the corruption, rather it is used to extort money from those people who are already committing crime. Now double crime is taking place. Already suppose if there is any corruption involved in this project, an RTI activist get this information, and RTI activist will know that some kind of corruption has taken place. Now this person can file a case against this particular project and ensure that these corrupt practices are removed. Once again, this project will be streamlined without any corruption. Rather, in this case study, it is giving that you are a PIO, but you are getting information, you are getting applications from such kind of RTI activists. They are taking information, they know that some wrong thing is happening. Instead of giving justice to the public, they are misusing for their personal interest. They are harassing the people, the decision makers, and they are trying to extort money from the people who have committed something wrong. Otherwise, if there is nothing wrong, there is nothing to extort money. If everything is transparent, if everything is simple, if everything is clear, if there is no corruption involved in that project, even if RTI activist file a petition, file a case, or file a application, the information will be very clear, and there is nothing wrong, and there is nothing to afraid. Decision makers also need not to get afraid. But whenever there is some kind of wrongdoing in the project, RTI activists are using these loopholes to extort money from those decision makers. You come across that these kind of RTI activists who are misusing, they are using this RTI provision more rather than the genuine people. Now what will happen? It will create fear among the RTI information givers. The people who are giving information, it will create fear, and after some time they will not give the true information, and they will try to hide the truth, and the public will not, the genuine applications will not get the genuine information. This is the issue. Now what kind of steps you can take? The question is asking about, what is the question? What kind of measures you can take, and also merits and demerits. What are the various options you have? What measures would you suggest to separate genuine and non-genuine applications? Give merits and demerits of your suggestions. For example, one kind of step is strengthen verification. We need to verify this process, and what is the purpose? For what purpose they are trying to get the information? Verification process. So number one, strengthen verification process. The people who are filing genuine applications and those non-genuine, verify it. And if you try to verify, then you will come across the transaction history of the RTI activist. And if there is any record that RTI activists are misusing for extorting money, get the information about their wrongdoings and punish them lawfully. As per the law, always a civil servant must bring rule of law, rule of law, due process of law. Otherwise, if people compromise this, then if there is no rule of law, then democracy will not survive. That's why even if a crime has taken place, even a punishment has to be given to the criminal, it has to be based on rule of law. Now, once you verify, once you strengthen the verification process, one step is strengthen verification process. And in the process, every applicant, whatever application you are getting, try to get the information, basic information about these RTI activists also, and on what basis they are filing, on behalf of whom they are filing, what is the genuineness of this application, what is the track record of RTI activists, are they genuinely fighting for the justice or for personal gain they are doing this. Now, in that case, if you come across that these RTI activists misuse and if they have committed some kind of crime in the process, you ensure that they will also get punished, then it will become a deterrent. So this is the merit. It will become deterrent and it will ensure genuine applications. Non-genuine applications will be gradually slowed down. Because now lack of any kind of fear, from the wrongdoings, that's why it is encouraging furthering their own personal interest. But when it comes to demerit, now you need more financial resources. Now for verification process means you need more time resources. For verification process you need human resource also. And if it is required, you even need financial resources also. And it is an additional burden on you. It is additional burden on your department. Already in a country like India, resource crunch is there, and where this is just for, instead of using this in the right manner, just for those people who are misusing this good opportunity, for those people unnecessarily you have to spend time, you have to spend human resource, you have to spend financial resources. Wastage of these resources, that is a demerit. So strengthen, and it will increase administrative burden. So demerit is administrative burden. So if I read, it may restrict, it will increase administrative burden. The time required to process RTI application will increase further, and there could be challenges in verifying the intentions of applicant accurately. And we don't even know what is the activist. Sometime it may be genuine also, sometime it may be not genuine also. It is very difficult to really understand whether this activist is filing for genuine purpose or non-genuine purpose. Suppose if he is really genuine or she is really genuine, and if in the verification process, if you decide that is non-genuine, then you are creating injustice for the society. That danger is there when it comes to this strengthening verification process. But it has some basic verification will definitely enable or deterrent those people who are outrightly misusing this provision. That is one. Next, clear and specific application requirement. And if you give some kind of requirement for certain kinds of information, you give different requirements on what basis you have to apply. If you give this, establish clear guidelines and requirements for RTI applications, specify the information being sought, purpose of the application, relationship of the applicant to the stakeholder involved. Next is guidelines. One is verification. Second one, the people who are applying for this application set clear guidelines. Set clear guidelines. Now in that guidelines, what you need to do? For the, what is the purpose? What was the purpose of this application? And RTI activist, what is his or her role? And what is the relationship between stakeholder, that means on whom behalf you are trying to create this application, and RTI activist. What is the relationship between RTI activist and on whose behalf you are filing? Then if you create such kind of guidelines, now what will happen? At least some kind of a screening, merit is screening process will take place. Here itself, in the first stage itself, people who are really non-genuine, they will automatically will not file the cases, will not file the application. Only genuine people, possibility is there, genuine people will file the cases. And when it comes to demerit, here you are asking the private information. So demerit is privacy, privacy issue. What kind of relationship is there? What kind of real purpose is there? What is the intention? And the moment you know, then there is a danger that if you have this purpose, if you have this interest, then what is the guarantee that the information from the department will be genuine? If government department already know the reason for it, then suppose if they are filing a case against some kind of wrongdoing in a project, suppose there could be some kind of misutilization of funds in the panchayat level, it could be in the road construction or water provision, related to giving drinking water, related to distributing the gas connections, distributing the reservations, distributing some kind of schemes. If an RTI activist wanted to unearth some kind of corruption within locality, maybe in panchayat or municipality at the national level, if people already declare what is the purpose and what is the relationship, and automatically that means immediately the people who are giving the information, they will know that they will get caught in this corruption scandal, they will not give the true information in this. So one is verification, that is one step. And when it comes to this, there will be no single solution for these issues. India is having a lot of challenges. So many social issues are there, economic issues are there, political issues are there, and many of these issues are intermixed together. Even solution also will not be a single one. We are trying to analyze each and every option, what are the various possible options. And when it comes to the real solution, it's going to be the combination of different factors depending on the circumstances. But for the analysis purpose, analytical purpose, we are trying to highlight what kind of possibilities are there. When you are trying to solve a problem, you need to have capability to think in all the directions, all the dimensions. If you know multiple dimensions, if you know on how many angles you can think of it, then there will be some kind of solution in one way or the other way. So this is one. If you clearly specify, merits is enables better understanding of the information being sought, reduces ambiguity, helps filter out applications that do not meet the specific criteria. And if you come to know that this is not genuine, then you will filter out. You will automatically filter non-genuine applications. It will remove the ambiguity also. It will be very clear in the intention and in the information also. It will be very clear. And when it comes to demerit, it limits the scope of certain legitimate applications. Requirement, if suppose requirement is too rigid and common people cannot apply, they want to get information, and once they get the information, it is up to the activist on for what purpose they can use this information. Suppose if the criteria is very rigid and if that criteria is not meeting for the real cause, and these people cannot file a case even if there is a genuine issue. And in such cases, it restricts the scope of legitimate applications. It becomes very rigid. Some applicants may struggle to articulate their purpose clearly, leading to potential rejection. The people, they may not be able to really clearly express what is the real intention. And if government decides that this kind of description is not following any criteria, even genuine applicants cannot get real information. That is another problem. Next, monitoring and disciplinary action. Monitoring and disciplinary action, and it is to track the activities of RTI activists. If there is any kind of extortion or misuse, you have to track it. So this is tracking. If there is any extortion, get the full details, and merits are going to be, it become a deterrent. Punish the people who misused it. Get the evidence. You bring the law enforcement agency which is relevant here, and you file the case so that the law enforcement agency will take care of its duty in ensuring these people will get punished. In this way, and when it comes to demerit, dedicated resources required. Additional resources are additional burden, and care must be taken to ensure that disciplinary actions are fair and based on concrete evidence. It must be fair, otherwise it will lead to demerit. Sometimes fair investigation may not take place, and if you do not like RTI activists, and if some people do not like the RTI activist for unearthing some kind of schemes, for unearthing some kind of corruption, they may be punished unfairly. Generally, in the law, they must be punished for the crime what they have committed, but sometimes the proportionate of the punishment will be beyond what they have committed crime. That kind of danger is also there. Another step is like the people are extorting, disciplinary action, and screening procedure is one step. Proper verification, another step. Public awareness campaign. Public awareness campaign, and this is the purpose what I have initially explained to you. Public awareness campaign means what is the purpose of RTI, what is the real intention of it, if we misuse it, what kind of disadvantages we will face, what kind of challenges as a country will face. Sensitizing the people, sensitizing the public, sensitizing the RTI activists so that they will not misuse it. The merit is, it is the smooth procedure, helps to create a culture of responsible RTI activists. It promotes transparency. It encourages citizens to use act for legitimate purposes. They will use for the legitimate purpose. It will improve the transparency also, because if non-genuine people go out, more and more genuine people will come out. And there is reason that why these RTI activists are filing cases or the applications on behalf of somebody, because they are ignorant. When there is a awareness campaign, common people will come to know. Merit is common people come to know about how to file an RTI activist, and they do not require any intermediary. Do not require intermediary. RTI activist will flourish only when there is ignorance, and this is how everywhere this middleman concept will come. When the ground level people are ignorant, when the upper layer is not able to reach the lowest layer, it is the lowest, it is the uppermost, and there is, when there is a huge gap, there intermediary will emerge. If you generate awareness about this campaign, the lower strata will automatically know whenever there is a requirement, whenever they need information, automatically they will file the application and they will directly get the information. They do not require any intermediary. Automatically the number of non-genuine cases will reduce, more and more genuine cases will increase. That's what a public awareness campaign. And when it comes to demerit, effectiveness of the effectiveness and in what way? India is a very big country, and when it comes to demerit, how effectively this campaign can be gone. And again, to campaign you need human resources, financial resources, time resources. These are various. Effectiveness of the campaign may vary. It may not completely eliminate non-genuine applications. It requires a sustained effort, continuous. It's not one-time job. You require continuously promoting this campaign, then only you will come to know about the impact of this. Otherwise, if you do once, then once again same kind of problem will continuously flourish. Next one, whistleblower protection. Another step, whistleblower protection. Suppose if an RTI activist extorting money, and the officer who are getting these extortion calls, if they whistleblow, if they blow the whistle, then the RTI activist who is extorting money can be punished. And for that, whistleblower who is exposing this RTI activist extortion, they must be protected, their information must be protected. Whistleblower protection. Merit encourages genuine applications, discourages non-genuine applications, and demerit is implementation and enforcement of this protection mechanism can be challenging. How to ensure that these whistleblowers are given protection. So that kind of challenge is there. These are various issues, and we are trying to analyze various angles. Suppose case to case basis, in some cases this can be a solution, in some cases this can be a solution, in some cases the other aspects like verification process, screening guidelines, and punishing the people who are doing this, disciplinary action. In different circumstances, different possible action can be taken. In this way, it can be solved. So this is a social issue, because social issue, why I have categorized this issue means, it is a social mindset. Rather than solving the social issue, people are misusing this provision for furthering their own personal interest. So this is what corruption, personal interest. Rather than thinking about the country as a whole, rather than thinking about entire society's welfare, they are thinking about their own personal interest, even by promoting the corruption. And by not exposing the corruption that has taken place in the government, and if you are extracting money from the officials who have committed something wrong, that means already something wrong has happened, already society is at loss, and now by extorting money, you are creating one more crime, and it is a crime against the society. In this way, now double crime is taking place for social, in order to solve, not solving the social problem, but you are creating some more problem. As a public information officer, how you can change? So legally also, awareness campaigns also, through formal methods to informal methods, you have to solve such kind of social issues. So these are the various steps what can be done with respect to this case study. And the ultimate solution can be combination of all these. It's not that only single solution will apply in every case. Depending on case to case, we need to solve the case. So this is about this particular case study. We will meet in another case study later. Thank you.